The skies are in disarray, and so is the G1 Climax, because we are one show in to this year's tournament, and we have our first casualty by the name of Shota Umino, who is out due to a concussion that he sustained against Zack Sabre Jr. this past weekend. New Japan announcing that he displayed symptoms of a concussion, and after careful consultation, the decision has been made by medical staff to remove Umino from the remainder of the G1. Each of Umino's remaining tournament matches will be deemed forfeits, with his scheduled opponents receiving 2 points by default. Further changes will be made to upcoming cards as a result of Umino's withdrawal. Announcements will be made when cards have been determined. We apologize to fans who are looking forward to seeing Umino wrestle and appreciate your understanding. So this happened exactly the same thing last year with Gabe Kidd when he was gone right away. And they did the same deal. And I know this is traditionally how New Japan does things, but I'm sorry. I just think like you've got this whole thing booked and you're going to throw it into catastrophe with this guy gone. That could we not just have a fill-in to have these matches and keep all of this? I mean, it's on them, but I just feel this is, I don't know, we can't just sub somebody in for these matches.
So I guess like this is the sort of like most sports like of, you know, I would say maybe the prominent wrestling promotions, right? And for that reason, I think they would just at least need some sort of rule in place. Because at what point
if you got injured in the Olympics, you have an Olympic alternate. There is an alternate. That's who would
for tournament.
You wouldn't just forfeit all your matches. The alternate would come and step in for you. I mean that would be.
But at what point?
That's what the UFC used to do with the old tournament model. Guy got hurt, alternate comes in.
Yeah, I guess so. But it just doesn't seem all that fair. Because let's say you go to the G1 finals and
is it fair that everyone's getting 2 points? Like logically, if we're just talking about this, you're just getting an automatic 2 points without having to wrestle.
Well, it's fair for everybody except for the person, except for Zack.
Except Zack. Zack's got an extra match now.
Who beat him though? So he got the 2 points anyway, right? Yeah. So I mean, it's not ideal, but I also think it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that this would occur.
Yeah, I mean,
what if it was the semifinals? The guy gets injured. Does somebody just get subbed in for the final?
Well, I'm looking. We're right at the beginning of the tournament, and I'm just thinking for what you're trying to. What is the cutoff? I'm not viewing this as like a sport. I'm just looking at this logic. I really, as a viewer, I really do not care at the end of this whole thing. I'm looking at it from their perspective that I don't think anyone would be up in arms if they just said, hey, this is our sub that's going in, and we're going to give you your 5 tournament matches per show, and we're not going to have to rebook this tournament, because I guarantee you Umino was going to, like on my predictions, I had Umino getting 10 points. Now, maybe that's high, maybe that's not, but he was definitely not going to be getting 0 points in this tournament. So, I mean, it's more headaches for Ghetto to restructure this whole thing. And I don't know, I would just look at the easy fix like what AEW did with Darby Allin last year when he was out of the Continental Classic.
Yeah, I suppose it would be the right person, you know, that you would sub in. And also, like, depending on, they're crafting these wins to make sense for Umino. You can't just put anybody in there and have the wins make sense. They're trying to build 2 storylines and things down the road that make sense specifically for Shota Umino, right? So I think no matter what, even if you had a sub, they'd have to, you know, rebook the entire thing. But that's just kind of the nature of pro wrestling. You kind of have to rebook due to injury at all times. And I also feel like unless Umino was supposed to win the G1, I feel like there's still plenty of ways, you know, this far out that you can get to your same conclusion that you originally intended.
I doubt he was going to win the G1, but I do think he would have been, you know, significant throughout most of this. I would say he would at least be in the mix toward the latter stages. That would be my thought. So he was not scheduled for Saturday's show, but we do have 6 matches on Saturday, and that includes Takeshita against Jake Lee, Yota Tsuji against Hiroki Goto, Bolton Oleg against Yuto Ice, Sonata and Great Khan, Shingo Takagi against Ryohei Oiwa, Gabe Kidd in his debut match of the tournament against Drilla Maloney. That's the lone B-block match on Saturday. And Sunday, it is Aaron Wolf who gets the day off. Maybe Aaron Wolf will be on commentary.
Japanese?
Or English, whichever.
How's his English?
I don't know. Never heard him speak English. So, yes, Aaron Wolf will be off. Sunday show also has Yuya Uemura against Zack Sabre Jr., which should be very strong. Hanare against Drilla Maloney, Ren Narita and Callum Newman, and Gabe Kidd against Oscar. Mm-hmm. So quite the lineup we have this coming weekend. So the G1 podcast will continue. What would we do if one of our podcast hosts got injured? Would we have someone just have to do a show solo? Would we put a replacement in to join them? What would we do?
I guess it would be a replacement.
What if Bruce got laryngitis?
Well, I mean, I guess if we could find a replacement, it would be a replacement.
Yeah. Okay. I just want it to be fair. It's July on the Post Wrestling Cafe, and that means our extensive G1 coverage begins starting July 11th. We're going to have reviews of every single G1 card right up to and including the finals in the middle of August. Plus, Rewind Away takes a look at 2 episodes of Heels. We're also going to be going back to 2005 for a review of WrestleMania 21, and it is the start of our double shot episodes covering this season of Dark Side of the Ring. Plus, we are going to dive into the 3rd season of WWE Unreal. All that and so much more can be yours by signing up to the Post Wrestling Cafe. It gets you XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, Collision Course on a weekly basis, MCU later, and so much more.